Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So this video marks the beginning of our new series which is called Introduction to Statistics for Machine Learning and Data Science. So we have been going over machine learning series, and I find it like we need to do a bit of statistics before we continue with that series. But I will also be uploading videos for machine learning, so if you're interested in machine learning, you can continue watching the series on machine learning. But if you're new to machine learning and you have started watching that, you might want to watch these two series simultaneously, because the statistics that you're going to cover here will be applied in machine learning and data science series that you have started earlier. So we're going to go over statistics, and first let's begin by defining what statistics is. So statistics is a branch of mathematics that deals with try to make sense of data. This is how I will define statistics, but Wikipedia defines statistics as the study of the collection, analysis, interpretation, and presentation and organization of data. That's what statistics is all about. Try to analyze data, collect data, try to make interpretations, organize data, and try to present the data in using different charts and stuff like that. So that's what statistics is all about. So to become a data scientist, do you have to know statistics? The simple answer is simply just a yes. You have to know statistics because data science is all about statistics. So if you might be asking yourself, why do I have to know statistics in order to do data science? Well, machine learning is all about making predictions, trying to analyze data, trying to make sense of data, regression, and stuff like that. All this utilize statistics methods, right? So data science is all about probability, hypothesis testing, regression, and all of these other concepts, detecting outliers, cleaning your data. All these methods and processes use statistical methods. So this is what you're going to cover, like the basics of statistics, so that you can begin to do data science and actually understand what's going on in the background, rather than just copying and pasting code all over the place. So that's what you're going to be doing. So this course is all about, like as I said, we're going to introduce ourselves to statistics so that we can begin understanding what you're actually doing whenever we do data science and machine learning. So the best way, I believe the best way to learn something is actually by doing it, right? Practice makes perfect, which is many of these tutorials on YouTube, they just have the tutorial part into statistics, right? They just do the pure statistics, like these mathematical channels. They just do go into the statistics. They don't really go into the coding part. So whenever you move from the statistics and you come into Python or any whatever language that you are using, and you try to implement the same stuff, sometimes you get stuck and you have to do a lot of Google search. So whenever I was studying data science, I also had the same problem, and I wish there was a place where they will talk about the theory of statistics and how to actually do the actual coding in Python. So this is what this course is all going to be about, not just the hardcore theory about what is median, what is that, what is a variation, what is a mode, and all of this stuff, what is a standard normal distribution, all of this stuff. And then if you come into machine learning or go into Python, you wonder, how do you code this, how do you implement this, right? So this is not what this course is going to do. So this course, we're going to go into the theory. We'll talk about the theory, and then we'll actually do the coding in Python to see how we can apply those theory, the statistic knowledge into code, and actually do statistics using Python. In that way, you'll be able to learn Python through this course, and you also be able to understand statistics method, and then you'll be ready for machine learning and data science. So in this course, we're going to cover some of the most used scientific computation libraries in Python, like Numpy, numeric Python. We also cover matplotlib for visualizing data, seaborn also for visualization, pandas for data manipulation, Jyputer notebook, which is the editor that I'm actually currently using. It's really powerful. And then also you look at SciPy, which is just a very wonderful library for statistics and data scientific computation in data science and machine learning that you'll be using. So the language that you'll be using is obviously going to be Python. Why Python? Because Python is very easy to write, has a lot of support. Documentation on Python is just great. The Python community is just fantastic. Python is easy to read, easy to interpret. It is just like English, right? So the most important point is that Python has most libraries for scientific computation, data analysis, and machine learning than any other language that I know. This is my personal view. Like R, Python is way better than R, right? Way better than R, and it's also a general purpose language. So if you learn Python through statistics, you can also do other things with Python, right? For example, you can build dashboards, data analysis dashboards using Python. You can build websites, about with Python, about data science and stuff like that. So learning Python is just the best way to go for data science, and is the most widely used language for data science. So that's why we'll be using Python. So you have to know Python to be in this course. As I mentioned earlier, no, you don't have to know Python to do this course. We will learn Python as we go along. I will explain to you what variable is, a function is, a method is as we go along. Okay, so if you have any question about anything that we'll do, leave it in the comment section below. I'll do my best to get back to you. Maybe I'll also make a video to explain that concept to you in Python. So you don't have to know Python to begin this course. You can go learn Python as we go along, but knowing Python will take you a very long way, take you very far. So if you have a bit of knowledge of Python, it's really good. So you can just go to Google and then just read the very few introduction to Python pages, like the first 5 or 10 pages will take you a long way. Okay, so if you don't know Python, we'll learn as we go along. So we need to install the things that we need. So if you already have Anaconda installed on your computer, feel free to skip this video and go to the next video where we'll go into the theory about statistics, and then we'll begin to do some coding. So if you already have Anaconda installed, you can just skip this. If you don't know what Anaconda is, you can just go to Google and search, and then you can install Anaconda for Windows, Mac or Linux. But for starters, right, I believe some people here are just starting out with Python, so Anaconda installation can be really tricky. So we just use a normal Python virtual environment to keep things simple. So if you're on Windows, right, I don't have a Windows machine, and the process of doing creating a virtual machine in Windows is something that I'm not really familiar with. So I am going to leave this link here. It's just a YouTube video that will take you through how to install Python for Windows, how to create a virtual environment for Windows. So once you have done watching that video, you can come back to this video, and then we'll install the library that you'll be using during this course. Okay, so go back there to this YouTube link. I'll leave it in the description. Watch this video if you are using Windows on how to install Python and how to create a virtual environment in Python. So if you are wondering, you come to bring you to this page, with the official page for Python. So here you can simply just click on downloads, and then you can select downloads, and then you can select the operating system that you're using, and then from there you can download it. If you're using Windows, it will download it, and then you just click the executable file, the installer. Make sure that you include Python within your general path. Again, follow this tutorial. It's really just great. Please follow this tutorial so that you don't have any issues along the way. So once you're done watching that tutorial, and I believe by now you already have Python installed and you know how to create a virtual environment. So let's go ahead and actually see how we can create a virtual environment for those of us who are on a Linux machine. Okay, so to do this, first of all, we need to create a virtual environment. So I'll open up my terminal right here. So if you're on Windows, follow along from this step onwards. Okay, so we need to make a directory. This directory is where we're going to be keeping all our project files. Okay, so we just call it statistics. I'm going to call it statistics. Feel free to call it anything you want. So if you're on Windows, Mac or Linux, this command is going to work for you, and it's just create for you a folder. Okay, so I've changed the directory, and now going to statistics. Okay, so I have now created a folder on my desktop in a folder called content, and I've created another folder in there called statistics. So if you're on Windows, you might want to do a change directory, and then you need to say desktop, and then from after you run this command, and then you follow up with these two other commands so that you can create a folder on your desktop. Okay, so I hope you are familiar with the Windows environment. So once that you have done this, we have created a virtual environment. We have created a folder we're going to store in our project files. Now let's go ahead and actually create a virtual environment. So for Windows users, by now you know how to create a virtual environment on Windows, right? So you just copy the command for creating a virtual environment, and you paste it in your terminal, and then you press enter. This will create for a virtual environment within this folder called statistics. So if you're on a Mac or Linux, you have to say Python 3 and then -m venv, and then you can follow it with the name of the virtual environment you want. I will call mine venv. Feel free to call it anything you want, okay, but just remember that name. So this will go and actually create for us that virtual environment. So once it's done, we'll have a virtual environment. Okay, so this command will not work for Windows users. So Windows users, as I said, refer to that video, and I hope by now you know how to create a virtual environment. So just copy the code for creating the virtual environment, paste it in here, press enter, and it will create for a virtual environment within this folder called statistics. So now that you have created a virtual environment, I can do an ls, and you can see we have a folder in there called venv, which is the name that you have given our virtual environment. So if you're on Windows, to check this, you can also do a dir. So just do a dir and it will also work for you. Okay, so now that you have created a virtual environment, you need to activate the virtual environment. Again, Windows users, this command won't work for you. So I hope by now you know how to activate a virtual environment by watching that video. Okay, so you activate your virtual environment. This works for Linux users and Mac users. So you activate your virtual environment, and whenever you activate your virtual environment, you can notice the name of the virtual environment, in parentheses in front of the line. So that shows that your virtual environment is activated. So I'll just clear my screen. If you're on Windows, I think it's called CLS. So this will clear your screen. So once you have the screen cleared up, you can go ahead and actually start installing the library. So let's go back to our presentation, and then we copy this code. Okay, so we're going to install this specific library. So I'll copy from here, from the pip one. I'll copy all of this, and then I'll simply copy this code, and I'll move back to my terminal, and I'll do Ctrl Shift and V to paste it. Okay, so I'm using pip3. So if you're on, you know which pip version you're using. If you're on Windows, I think pip will just work for you. If you're on Linux, if you're using Python 3, you have to say pip3. If you're on Linux, I think it's if you're on Mac, I think it's also the same thing, right? So we also need to install another library called seaborn. So we're going to this pip3 install is just, pip stands for a packet, it's just a package manager in Python, right? So it's going to install, you're telling this package manager to install for you Numpy, SciPy, matplotlib, IPython, this stands for interactive Python, Jyputer notebook, Jyputer, and then which is we're going to get Jyputer notebook, pandas, and then the seaborn, which is the library that we have discussed, that you're going to cover in this course. Okay, so at this point, you just go ahead and actually press enter. This will go ahead and actually install for you. So this will take some time depending on your internet speed, and also your processor speed. So as you can see, it's collecting the libraries, and it's going to install this for me. So it's going to take some time. So we just have to wait, and when this is done, I'll resume the video, and then we can continue from there. Yeah guys, I'm back here, and you can see that my installation has been completed and all the libraries have been installed on my computer successfully. So I'll go ahead and actually clear the screen. So we have all these libraries installed, so we can go ahead and actually activate start our Jyputer editor, which will be the editor that we'll be using for coding. So to activate, you just have to be make sure your virtual environment is activated, and then you just have to type in Jyputer and then space notebook. Okay, so this will open up Jyputer notebook, and it will start a server on your local machine, and then it will open up a certain URL. So it will open up this URL in the browser. So you can just copy this and paste it, or by default it will open it automatically. So you just have to wait for it to open, and you can see it has opened that URL here, right here. So in there we can see we have only one folder within our statistics folder. So is this every folder within the statistics folder, right? Every folder within the statistics folder will show up in the in here. Okay, so in the statistics folder we have the virtual environment folder. That's why it shows up here. So anything you put in that folder will show up here whenever you start the Jyputer notebook. So let's go ahead and actually create a Python notebook, and then we can see we can just do a simple hello world in Python, and we can conclude it for this video. So I'll go ahead and actually name it, and I'll call it intro, just like that. Sorry, this is a typo. So this is a intro, there's a T there. So yeah, so from there we can go ahead and actually write a simple hello world program in Python. So to do a hello world in Python, you just have to say print parentheses double quotes, and inside of the double quotes you put in hello world, or whatever you want to print out on the screen, hello world, and then you can press shift and enter on your keyboard to run the code, or you can just press run here. So make sure you select the cell. So to select the cell, you just press on that cell, and show the green shows that it's selected, and then you can run it, and you can see we get hello world. So that's how you can print a hello world in Python. Okay, so this could be a double quote or a single quote. Python doesn't mind. So but if you use double quotes, make sure you use double quotes on both ends. If you use single quotes, make sure you use single quotes on both ends. So this is how you can simply create a simple hello world in Python. So what you have done now, you have installed the libraries, and you are ready to start coding and get started doing statistics using Python, right? And begin our journey for data science. So we have covered all this, and you have managed to install all of the libraries that we need. So in the next tutorial, we'll look at the terminologies that are used in statistics, and then from there we'll begin to code in Python and doing statistics using Python. So thanks for watching. So see you in the next tutorial. If you like this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. If you hate it, give it a thumbs down, and leave a comment in the comment section below why you hate it or why you like it. Please make sure you you share this tutorial with your friends, and subscribe okay, to this channel for more content. Also remember to hit the notification bell so that you can get updated whenever I upload a new video. So stay safe and keep stay out of danger. This course is not only for anyone that is going to do data science, right? This anyone, for even if you're a statistician, and this word is just difficult to pronounce. So if you are doing statistics or a degree in statistics, you just want to learn a programming language that can do statistics, you can go with Python, right? Python is a great way just to do it. So thanks for watching. If you find it very helpful, please don't forget to like again this video and subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell for future videos. So thanks for watching. See you in the next tutorial. Keep safe.